Your hands were cold as you waited outside the giant black gate of John Mansion, a place you had only heard about on the news. Billionaire CEO, heartless boss. Never smiles, that man. And now he was going to be your boss. You had nowhere to go, no money. Your landlord had thrown you out 2 days ago. This job interview was your last hope. You took a deep breath just when the gate slowly opened. A black car stopped in front of you. A man stepped out, tall, fitted suit, sharp jaw, eyes that looked like they had seen too much pain. John Jungkook. He didn't smile, not even a fake welcome one. You're the nanny. His deep voice cut through the cold air. You nodded nervously. Yes, sir. You nodded nervously. Yes, sir. Come inside. He walked ahead. You followed, feeling tiny in his huge mansion. As you reached the living room, your breath hitched. The place looked luxurious, but strangely empty, too quiet, too lonely. Jungkook turned to you, crossing his arms. Can you take care of a child? Not just feed and bathe, but really take care of him. Yes, I'll do everything I can, you said sincerely. He studied you silently, and for a second you wondered if he could see the desperation in your eyes. Then a tiny voice echoed behind him. Appa. A small boy peeked from behind Jungkook's leg, soft cheeks, teary eyes, holding a teddy bear tightly. Jungkook instantly softened, so slightly that you would have missed it if you blinked. He kneeled down. Jung Su, I want you to meet someone. This is Wyan. She will take care of you from now. The boy looked at you with big, vulnerable eyes. You smiled softly. Hi, Jung Su. He slowly let go of his father and walked to you, then gently held your dress like he was afraid you would disappear. Something melted inside your heart. Jungkook noticed it. He cleared his throat. You will live here 24/7. Jung Su hates being alone. Salary and room details will be discussed later. You nodded. Okay. Then Jungkook said something that surprised you. Thank you for coming. There was so much exhaustion hidden in that one sentence, so much responsibility for a man who looked too young to carry it all. That night you were settling into your new room, a beautiful space you never dreamed you would get. When you heard a knock, you opened the door and there he was again, Jungkook. But this time he looked worried. Jung Su won't stop crying. I didn't want to disturb you on your first night, but... You didn't even let him finish. Let's go. You followed him to his bedroom, where Jung Su sat on the bed, hugging his teddy tightly, eyes red from crying. The moment he saw you, Mommy, your heart dropped. Jungkook froze. Mommy, Jung Su ran into your arms, hugging you so tight like he feared you would vanish. You gently rocked him, patting his back. Shh, I'm right here. I won't go anywhere. You whispered. You sat on the edge of Jungkook's bed, singing a soft lullaby. Slowly, his tears stopped, his breathing calmed, and he fell asleep peacefully in your arms. You looked up and Jungkook's eyes were already on you. There was something unspoken in his gaze, admiration, relief, a hint of warmth he didn't know how to handle. You gently placed Jung Su on the bed and tucked him in. Only then you realized you were still in your nightgown. Jungkook's eyes widened slightly as he turned away, pretending to adjust the blanket. I apologize for disturbing your rest, he muttered. It's okay, you smiled. He needs me. Jungkook looked at you again, softer this time. You are good with him, he said quietly. I'll always try my best. He only nodded, but inside a seed had already been planted, something dangerous and beautiful. As you reached the door, Jungkook called out softly, Thank you, Wyan. You smiled before leaving, but what you didn't see was Jungkook staring at his sleeping son and then at the door where you disappeared, thinking the same thought again and again. She feels like home. The mansion didn't feel cold anymore. Every morning began with tiny feet running and little giggles echoing around the halls. And Jungkook secretly loved waking up to your voice. Today was no different. Jung Su came into your room. Mommy, up. Jung Su jumped onto your bed, pulling your blanket. You laughed, sitting up, hair messy and eyes still sleepy. Okay, okay, mommy is up. He wrapped his arms around your neck, his favorite morning hug. You picked him up and walked downstairs. Jung Su glued to you like a koala. Jungkook was already at the dining table, coffee in hand. His serious eyes softened immediately when he saw you two. Good morning, he said, voice low but warm. Good morning, Appa, Jungsu shouted, waving. Then he turned your chin toward him. Me feed Su. Jungkook frowned. I can feed him. No, mommy. You tried not to laugh, but Jungkook watched like he was personally betrayed by a 3-year-old. He has favorites. You teased softly. Jungkook leaned closer and whispered near your ear. I know, and it's not me anymore. His breath tickled your skin. You stepped back shyly as your heart thudded. Everyone in the mansion was surprised how easily you blended in with the father and son, and Jungsu called you mommy as if it's not something unusual. Hours later, you were sitting on the living room carpet watching Jungsu build a crooked tower of blocks. He laughed every time it fell, and your laughter mixed with his, filling the lonely mansion with warmth. You didn't know someone was watching. Jungkook stood silently in the doorway, coat still on, eyes softer than clouds. He saw you sitting there, hair slightly messy from play, eyes filled with love. Son, smile so warm it almost hurt him. He didn't remember the last time someone laughed inside this house. He only realized he was there when Jungsu shouted happily, Appa. You turned surprised. You are back already? Jungkook walked toward you both, his voice lower than usual. I missed Jungsu. He told me he wants to go out. I thought I would take him. Then looking directly into your eyes, he won't go without you. Will you come? Your heart did something strange. Yes, yes, mommy will come with me, right? Of course. You smiled. Where are we going? There's a small park nearby. He likes the swings. His voice softened again as he watched Jungsu grab your hand first, not his. Jungsu ran around the playground, giggling, falling, then running again. You walked behind him, making sure he didn't hurt himself. Jungkook watched silently from beside you, hands in pockets, eyes focused on you. He wasn't watching Jungsu. He was watching you love Jungsu. You are such a great father. You said suddenly, turning a little toward him. He looked startled, like no one had ever called him that before. You noticed the way his chest rose as if holding a breath. But curiosity bubbled inside you. There was something you never asked. If you don't mind. You hesitated. His mother. What happened? Did she leave? Jungkook stiffened. His eyes turned sad. Not angry, not uncomfortable, just sad. He exhaled slowly. She didn't leave. He said quietly. She never existed in his life. You frowned, confused. Jungkook continued, voice trembling just a little. Jungsu isn't my real son. Your heart skipped. He looked down at the grass, eyes glistening with the truth he carried alone for too long. My brother and sister-in-law, they died in a car accident 6 months ago. His throat tightened, and Jungsu, he was the only one left. You covered your mouth, shocked and broken for the little boy. So I adopted him. I didn't know how to be a father, but I couldn't let him go through life alone. He swallowed hard, but a tear escaped anyway. He lost his parents. I can't let him lose anything else. You stepped closer, instinctively gently touching his arm. You are not just a great father, you whispered. You are the best thing that ever happened to him. Jungkook looked at you, and for the first time, he allowed himself to feel. The wind blew and sunlight hit your face gently. There was so much love in your eyes. No pity, no sympathy, love. Jungkook realized something terrifying and beautiful. He wanted you, he needed you, not just for Jung Su but for himself. After some time, Jungkook went to buy ice cream. You waited on the bench with Jung Su sitting on your lap. A mom nearby smiled at you, chatting happily. You have such a beautiful family. Your husband looks very handsome too. Your eyes widened. Oh no, we are not. Jungkook returned at that exact moment. Everything okay? He asked, handing you a cone. The woman winked. You are a lucky wife. Jungkook froze. You blushed. She misunderstood. Jungkook quickly interrupted. Well, I am lucky. Your heart skipped a beat so hard you almost dropped your ice cream. That night, Jungsu wouldn't sleep unless he was in your arms. So you sat on Jungkook's bed, rocking him softly. Jungkook stood nearby, arms crossed, but his gaze was only on you. When Jungsu finally slept, you carefully put him on the bed. You turned to leave, but your nightdress brushed his hand. A tiny accidental touch. Both froze. His voice dropped to a whisper. You make him happy, and you make this house feel alive again. You looked up, and for the first time, you allowed yourself to feel everything too. You stepped back, afraid your heart would show too much. You stepped back, afraid your heart would show too much. I should go. But as you turned, Jungkook gently caught your wrist. Stay. The word was soft, begging without begging. Your eyes lifted to his gaze couldn't hide anything anymore. But before either of you crossed the line, Jungkook stirred and reached for you. Mommy. You quickly turned to him. Jungkook let go slowly, his fingers lingering. Good night. He whispered so tenderly it hurt. As you walked away, Jungkook whispered into the silence. I'm falling for you, and I have no idea how to stop. You had been living in the John mansion for almost 2 months now, and something beautiful had quietly happened. You became their everything. Jungkook had a company event that night. Many important board members, investors, and their families attended. He insisted you and Jungsu come too. You are a part of the family, he had said. Those words stayed in your heart. You held Jungsu in your arms while Jungkook greeted guests, looking every bit the perfect CEO in a black tuxedo. Suddenly, one investor's wife smiled at your trio. He is such a cute boy. He looks just like the two of you. How old is he? You opened your mouth to explain, but Jungsu hugged your neck and shouted proudly, My mommy. Silence. Everyone turned. You froze. Jungkook looked at Jungsu, then at you. The woman laughed lightly. Oh, I didn't know Siyu John was married. Jungkook's jaw clenched, and instead of denying anything, he stepped closer, hand resting gently on Jungsu's back. She's not my wife. Your heart broke for a second, but he continued quietly, eyes only on you. She's Jungsu's mother in every way that matters. Your breath stopped. The woman left, but your heart was racing so loud it felt like everyone could hear it. Later, you stepped outside to the garden to calm down. Your chest ached with a strange fear that this was temporary, that one day you would have to leave. Footsteps approached behind you. I'm sorry if that made you uncomfortable, he said gently. You shook your head. He thinks I'm his mom. I can't replace her, Jungkook. His eyes softened, but then a pain flashed in them. He exhaled shakily. She's gone, Ryan. You turned toward him slowly. He has no one to call father except me, and now he thinks you are his mother. You swallowed. Tears slipped down his cheek before he could stop them. You reached up and wiped his tears with your thumb, soft, careful. You are the greatest father he could ever ask for. He closed his eyes like those words were healing parts of him. But he deserves a mom too, he whispered. Your hand paused. You have already become that for him without anyone asking you to. You try to ease the moment with a small smile. What if one day he stops calling me mommy? Jungkook stepped closer, so close you could feel his heartbeat. He won't. How are you so sure? His voice dropped lower, more honest than ever, because I can't imagine a life where you are not here. Silence fell, heavy and breathtaking. Jungkook gently cupped your face in his trembling hands. You walked into this house and suddenly I wasn't alone anymore. Your lips parted but words failed. I didn't believe in love before. I thought it was just a distraction, something that never lasts. He swallowed hard, but when you hold Jung Su, when you laugh, when you sing in the kitchen, his voice cracked. My heart begs me to keep you. Your eyes filled with tears. Jungkook, I want you, he whispered, not just for Jungsu. He leaned his forehead against yours. I want you because you are my happiness now. You couldn't breathe. I love you, Ryan. Your heart finally spoke before your mind could think. I love you too. He looked at you like you were the only star in his night, and then his lips met yours, slow at first, full of emotions he was afraid to spill too fast. But when your hand slid into his hair, he pulled you closer, deeper like he had waited forever. No rush, no hesitation, just love, pure, real, and yours. Tiny footsteps interrupted the moment. Mommy, Appa. Jungsu stood in the doorway, rubbing his eyes. You both smiled through your tears. Jungkook walked over and lifted him up, holding him close. Jungsu, he said softly, kissing his head. Will you let mommy stay with us forever? Jungsu nodded excitedly, clapping his hands. Yes, mommy, stay. Mommy, stay. You laughed, crying and smiling all at once. Jungkook looked at you with a promise in his eyes. Be our family, be my wife, be Jungsu's mom forever. You kissed Jungsu's forehead, forever. You whispered. Jungkook wrapped his arm around you and held both of you against his heart. For the first time, the John mansion felt complete. No luxurious, no cold, but home.